In this video I will be breaking down why Jagex should be going into esports and how ignoring it will hurt the game long term. Let's dive straight in, shall we? So let me just quickly dumb down the two sides of a gaming business. As I see it, there's one cliff, which is Jagex as a business, and they want money. That's it. They're business, they want to generate money, and that's all they want to do. Then on the other side, there's another cliff. That's where you stand, the consumer, the player. And you want to be entertained. You want new content. These two cliffs are the main basis of a video game business. One cannot exist without the other. At least not if you want to be successful, that is. So how do we create this bridge where both parties can be happy together? Well, I have a few ideas. The first idea is esports. I personally think esports is the right way to go forward, but let's consider the options. What else do we have? I have two ideas. One is engaging updates for both new and old players. This is obviously very hard to try to hit something where both new and old can be entertained with the same type of update, so it's kind of tricky, but it can be done. A good example of this would be something like leagues, right? You all start new, so essentially everyone can join. But there's also a little problem in it, because it's a temporary game mode, so long term it doesn't really do anything for the main game. As much as the game mode gets new players into old school RuneScape, it also probably has the downside of burning out old players. Now let's get into the other idea, which is expanding platforms. And they already did this recently with Steam, and going on Steam is a very good move, but they failed so horrendously. The upsides of Steam would be get new players who didn't know old school actually existed and get them into the game, and also get old players to jump to the platform, raise the popularity of the new platform, and then have more visibility on the platform for new players to join the game. This didn't happen because most players that play this game regularly are playing on third-party clients. And with Steam, it's the old dogshit client. Anyway, let's move on. Let's not make this whole video about why Steam was a massive failure. I could talk about that for a long time, so let's just move on to my actual point, the esports. If you're like the Jagex higher-ups and are still stuck in the early 2000s, you would probably not know the impact that esports actually have. The industry is absolutely booming right now, and it's only gonna get bigger. So let me quickly break down what is the pros, what are the cons of esports. And then afterwards I'm gonna crunch every single idea you have that old school RuneScape cannot be an esports, because that's just wrong. So, the first pro of esport. You get sponsor money. And we already seen from the only esport event that Mudrope ever did, Jagex can get pretty fucking big sponsor deals like Razer, HyperX and Intel. Those are big companies that are willing to put their magic sticker on something, but Jagex just is like, nah, we don't want the magic sticker, we don't want the free money, no thank you. Seems very odd, doesn't it? Esport Pro number 2. There will be more incentive to play the game. And there's more levels to this con actually. The obvious one is, well, you can win money, so you want to play the game to do the best that you can in the tournament, right? A less obvious one would be, let's take a very odd example. If Jagex announces a tournament, let's say it's in 2 months prior to the tournament, and they say it's like a specific, like very odd build. For example, Froggy 8 Pure. If you haven't heard of it, it's like a very shitty build actually. It's very dog shit where people use like the frog armor. Let's say they just do that, like for fun trolley tournament. There will be a lot of people that are willing to make new accounts to make this specific build, to practice it. Even more incentive, right? It's a lot of bonds. Potential people that actually pay for the membership as well. So already now with these two pros of esports, with very little work, no dev work at all, we need like a few people to set up the tournament, do all the juicy stuff like camera and the broadcast, and you need obviously to secure the fat bag, you need to secure a deal with a sponsor, right? And with that you've already built the bridge that I was talking about. And if you're still not convinced, maybe you're like, that's way too many people and too big of an investment. You're maybe not sure that the viewership will be as you want it to be. Whatever it might be, there's already a prime example of this working. Just look at EvScape's Battle Royale. A singular content creator doing a huge esport event. Obviously he got some help with the production and he got the sponsorship deal with Crusader Gaming, but the point still stands. And the point here is also, there's probably people in the community that would do this for almost for free. Like, how are you not doing anything? It baffles me. And now you might be like, okay, but what are the major cons here? What are the major cons, right? Hold up a second. I'm not done with the pros. There's more. The next pro, more eyes in the game. For new players, that is. You broadcast it to Twitch, of course. Yada yada, it grows in viewership. You get more eyes in the game. Pretty simple. People want to play the game. They may never have tried. All that jazz. It's pretty simple. And now to the in the future type of pro. So in the future, we say Jagex does all of this stuff and they essentially build up a league, an esports league, and they franchise it. This makes esport organizations want to invest into the game, into the players. Imagine your favorite clan or whatever sign with an org. This is obviously very far-fetched and like a dream scenario. But it could happen. There's potential for this to actually be real. We could look at an example here, like, for example, Rocket League. A somewhat small game, at least it used to be, got into esports and it just exploded because it was so fun to look at. That's all it is. And old school RuneScape could have the same potential. And now, to the point where I talk about the cons. Esport con. Having to invest a little bit of money to get things rolling. That's it. That's the only con. Alright, now we got that settled. Then let's get into the OSRS cannot be an esport because of this and because of that. I've seen people say like, oh, it cannot be an esport because there's RNG involved. Or like, the mechanics are outdated, the game looks bad. You know, these types of ignorant opinions. First of all, RNG in an esport is very good. It makes it exciting to watch. There's not a clear winner every time. Potentially anyone can win. You can also look at stuff like Hearthstone. There's a lot more RNG in Hearthstone than in old school RuneScape, and that game lived off of being RNG. That was what people watched it for. It was exciting to watch some dude just get absolutely fucked by some stupid card. The next point, the game is too old, the mechanics are bad, whatever it might be. Well, the game is old is a really bad opinion, because just look at chess, like that's an esport. And the mechanics, they are so different from any other game, which makes it so interesting. There's an insanely high skill ceiling, and the mechanics are very, very in depth, which makes it super interesting to watch. And if you're still not convinced, honestly, I'm not sure what to say to you. You can just look at more examples. I can come up with more examples. It's easy, like soup skill in all games. Boom. If you make that into an esport format, that would work as well. You can look at Methods tournament that's running right now, and the World Championships is coming up right in this weekend. That's also booming in viewership. It's from this 1v1 tournament they're doing, like the first week they did, until now, the viewership has been growing insanely. Hopefully Jagex will realize when Method is basically stealing their bag of money, right? Because they are doing the esport thing right now, which Jagex could just have been doing all this time. And they could also do even better production because, well, they fucking own the game, right? Alright, so I think I'm gonna cut the cord here. I think I got my point across and put out all the cards on the table. And please let me know how I did with this talkative, opinionated type of video. I've never done this type of stuff before, so hopefully I didn't bore you through the whole thing, and hopefully I did change your mind or two. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching or listening, and make sure to like and subscribe if you want more.